I like concrete.
It's a heavy material, but here it seems it's gentle. It's not something.
In a way, all materials are heavy until the moment that you elevate them, because architecture is the elevation of matter. This prism is elevated 4 meters above ground and centrally supported by this massive column. And you can do this only with concrete.
Generally, Kifisia, it's a suburb of Athens where in the beginning of the century, the rich Athenians had their villas, their summer village. But this part of Kifisia was the area where the gardeners lived, the staff had their, like kind of humble little homes.
So the plots are small.
So the plots are small, and there was a small, kind of a little small tiny house in this land plot when we bought it. We didn't want to build anything bigger than that anyhow. It was just a matter of finding the ideal position in the land so as to have like a meaningful garden and enough light for the sun to come in the house. The size of the plot and the proximity of the buildings, the neighboring buildings, the size of this building has determined this, because the major thing that we wanted to achieve is to allow as much as southern sun to come into our plot of land and our house. So everything has to be moved on the northern side of the land. It had to be elevated to allow for the light and the sun to come in, and then the rest just followed.
And there is a filter that is created for the garden. There is a filter that is created by the column and the climbing plants in between the inner life of the city and the street. That's a filter of protection.
The neighbors, it was a period where there was a lot of construction, and most of the people were going for the full maximum interior square meters. For us, that was not the main purpose, to have the maximum amount of square meters inside. We wanted to have mostly quality space, and for us quality was having a substantial garden. The fact that the house is not massive, we resolved this issue by creating basically a transparent kind of wall, which doesn't create a hard border, and the feel of the house is that it's much bigger. It's much wider. You are inside, and then the border feels that it's up to the end of your land plot. You use the garden even when you are sitting there, in a way. The kids now, they're not sitting in the garden, but they're sitting, kind of next to the garden. It maximizes the use of the seasons. It maximizes the use of the exterior, as it were, because now it might be a bit cool to sit out there, but you can still sit here and have the doors open. The curtains during the day, I like them allowing this transparency. Probably, I might close this just for a bit of privacy from the road, because there you have the plants, so you can have the privacy. So mostly would be like that. And in the evening, I don't like the reflection of the light on the glass. So in the evening, we put down all the curtains, and then it becomes again a more introvert kind of space. And it brings you again inside.
Mentally demented because so you have a front door.
Oh yeah, we do, of course. Of course we have a front door.
And he actually did have 18 cats.
The main feature of the facade is this open gutter that is inox, and when there is rain, the water falls freely to the column and finally to the pond. Usually these gutters are closed, but here it is open. It's like the ones that you see in traditional architecture in the islands. There is also a vertical cut there that in a way is related to the gutter, and it's like a very, very small opening of the interior towards the exterior. I can have a glimpse to the exterior without in a way being noticed because it's so narrow. But from the interior, the width is greater. The same goes with this conical opening that allows for the eastern sun to enter in the morning in the kitchen. That's why this opening is conical.
It's like a cannon of light, right?
Yes. All this light that is coming from every part of the cube, the interior is tinted in dark colors in order that the inner life of the city is not exposed.
It really blocks the sound as well, huh?
Yes, yeah. I mean, these glasses are the best glass we could have in terms of energy, sound, and protection as well.
We tried a lot to make the kitchen more close. That's why we also elevated it a bit, so that there is a feeling of cocoon in the kitchen and the dining area, and the living room is more exposed to the garden. This table is in pieces and it is moving.
Why put it on tracks?
In order to have flexibility and be able to have separate pieces for preparing the food or working with a laptop, and then be able to have all the pieces together in order to have a big dinner.
So you can have different units depending on your needs, like a big dining table or a small working area which you can pull and have it towards the kitchen. Or
There's some rails, right?
so yeah, you spend a lot of time here. This normally on a normal day, this is the kids' desks with their books. Here we eat. Here everything happens here. Here we cook. Άμα θέλετε.
There's no point doing that.
Chocolate pepperoni.
It's a house that dictates your lifestyle. You have to be prepared for that. It's not this conventional box with the rooms that you go in and arrange your life as you want. Here, you have to live as this space dictates you. Of course, we designed it and we like it.
Because the stairs are just...
Yeah, and it's hanging off the ceiling from these wires with only one small support here, this column which goes down to support this part. And also obviously on the wall. I mean, it helps that also this part is like very firmly supported on the wall. I was saying to my husband the other day, you could almost put a couple of pillows here and just sit and grab a book and enjoy the view. My cat does it.
Your cat likes it.
Again, in the first days when we moved, I was thrilled with the richness of the experiences that you can have. In every point that you can sit in the house, you have a different experience. Now it's the cave. You still have lots of light coming in, but more introvert, if you see the house in the evening, it prepares you to bed.
This wall is not rounded in order to be rounded. It's rounded in order to create the master bedroom space in a way that movement into it is unobstructed. It would be a bit unpleasant to move in between this window and the wall with the corner. There were at least 14 different solutions for these 3 bedrooms. Even in a very small surface of 65 square meters, we tried many options.
In the area where the kids' bedroom is, we wanted to be open, we have 2 boys. We wanted them to be able to communicate, play together, and then maybe when they grow up, we can use this now, but this separates the 2 rooms.
So it's a very soft border between
Yes.
bedrooms, yeah.
For the kids' bedrooms, it's a soft border which can change in the future. It's very practical. It's full of little, like little cupboards.
You see, it's 45 degrees angle, so that you do not see the width of the wood.
Minimize it as much as you can, the clutter, and have a space which calms you and prepares you for bed, for sleep.
We had to find a way to unify the bedrooms because they are really small. Their surface is really small.
Again, here, out of choice, it still allows the contact between the two bedrooms. And again, there is a provision if you want to separate, to put like a panel and separate them.
So they can communicate with each other.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Typically here, in the evening they can talk or like have a CD and listen to a story or something, so they can share.
Could we go to the bathroom just a second?
Should you take the bathroom's great actually. It's like a light box, isn't it?
Yes, the bathroom is little glass stones, so it has a nice reflection of the light as well. I mean, this house has 3 doors. This one, the bathroom downstairs, and this one. It's like that's it. The rest is open. But they're not just doors because they don't have frames to obstruct the continuation of the walls and all that. So that's why it feels big and unobstructed and flowing and all that.
So it becomes completely closed.
It's funny, I never see it this way because it's always open. We never close them.
The main trick that makes the sleeping quarters seem bigger than they are is the monochromity of the environment, is that everything is painted in this grey.
The grey almost matches the ceiling, doesn't it?
It's the same tint. And there is an effort that also the wooden flooring takes the same tint. Even the shutters are the same grey.
The simplicity of the colors inside also kind of frames the outside.
There was a deliberate decision from Eri not to have openings towards the western side of the house. So we made this hole in order to permit the southern sun on the bed.
We have a roof garden as well. I mean, we haven't completed it, but I mean, like, it's a bit like high.
So this is basically up top here. It's a big box.
Yeah, it's a big box floating over the ground floor.
Because the plot was really small, we had to elevate the prism, because the interior and the exterior is one. The prism rests on this beam and on this column. There are only 2 main supportive elements. What makes it quite intense is the fact that there is no column at this point. What is quite peculiar about this staircase is that it is the same staircase outside and inside the house.
Practically, it's not a big house, but because we have the option to create the basement, that makes it a much larger house with these extra spaces. I think the most important thing about the basement is how we resolve the lighting issue. You know, creating a bigger opening at the staircase, allowing the light to come in, and also mirroring the interior staircase to the outside and creating some sort of cour anglaise effectively. You won't believe it how enjoyable it is. You can sit here and you can see the sky and the tree, and despite the fact that it's a basement. The basement is one of our favorite areas because first it's an area that has a very stable temperature. This is a guest room. Again, no walls. It has a nice feel about it. The way that the concrete and the woods and the natural materials surround you, I think create a nice feeling. This is the bathroom, yes. And the intention was to create the sense that it's all kind of one material, floor, walls, ceiling.
That's great.
To be honest, I was open to doing something different, unique, and I like modern living. It is bold because also you're basically you're quite transparent to the people outside.
It's about transparency,
Yeah,
being
not
open,
hiding anything.
not hiding anything.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you know, like you can limit yourself in many ways. You can say, like, oh, there are mosquitoes. We're not going to do it.
Right.
So, you know, I put a screen on top in the bedroom so the mosquitoes don't go there. And here, candles, a bit of repellent, whatever. Why would you limit yourself when you can enjoy this? It makes you more open, it makes you more flexible, because we are constantly sharing space and we have to respect each other in an open plan. It's not that each of us can go and lock a door and be in a room. Simplicity doesn't mean that it was easy to be done. It's not easy, but eventually when you find it, I think it gives the best result.